All right, get this. Imagine an AI that can literally build an entire playable world from just a few words. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's actually the reality behind Google's incredible Project Genie. So today, we're going to break down exactly how it works.
But first, let's start with a little thought experiment. You know that amazing, vibrant, totally action-packed world that lives inside your head? What if you could take that and, in an instant, make it real? And not just real, but playable. I mean, it's a desire we all have, right? To bring our imagination to life. And that is the exact idea right at the heart of this whole thing.
You know, for as long as video games have existed, the journey from a brilliant idea to an actual playable world has been, well, a total marathon. It took years of work, tons of technical skill, money, you name it. It was this huge, massive wall between a creative idea and something you could actually interact with. But what if that wall just vanished?
And this really lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the old way. We're talking years of coding, whole teams of artists, and budgets that could be astronomical. But on the other side, the new dream. It's radically different. We're talking about creating something at the speed of thought, all powered by a single, simple prompt. That wall we were just talking about? Yeah, it's starting to crumble.
And that dream we've been talking about, well, it now has a name, Project Genie. This is a seriously groundbreaking model from Google Research, and it's designed to do exactly what it sounds like, turn a simple idea, a simple prompt, directly into a world you can actually play in.
So, okay, what is Project Genie, really? Technically, they call it a generative interactive environment. Now that sounds complicated, but it just means it doesn't just spit out a pretty picture. No, it generates a whole playable space. To do this, the AI basically watched countless hours of 2D platformer games. It wasn't just learning what things look like, but how they work. It learned the physics, how characters move, what you can jump on, the whole shebang.
Yeah, this quote really nails it. It's like giving a sketchbook the power to bring its drawings to life. Just think about that for a second. You sketch a little character, you draw a cool landscape, and then poof, that character literally jumps off the page and starts running around in the world you just created. That's the magic, that's the core of what Project Genie is trying to do.
Okay, so the big question is, how? How does this actually work? How does an AI take a bunch of words and turn it into a world you can play in? Well, the process is actually pretty straightforward, so let's dive in.
So it really boils down to 4 key steps. First, you just write a description, a simple text prompt. Easy enough. Then, Genie gets to work building the environment, the assets, all the visuals. But step 3, this is where the real magic happens. Genie actually figures out the mechanics. From watching all those videos, it learned what a platform is, what a ladder does, how a character should jump. It builds the rules of the world, not just the pretty pictures. And then, step 4, you play. It's a direct line from your brain to a playable game. Okay, so let's take a real example. Say you type in something like, a spooky mushroom-filled forest with floating islands and gentle, glowing rivers. Now, Genie doesn't just make a static image of that, it understands it. It knows that floating islands are probably platforms you can jump on. It knows that rivers might be an obstacle, or maybe something you can swim in. It's mixing the look and feel of your idea with actual functional game design. The possibilities here are just endless.
Now, you have to understand, this is way more than just a cool tech demo. We're talking about a potential revolution in how we create and even how we play. The implications of this are, well, they're huge.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You could have endless new content being created on the fly. Game design suddenly becomes open to everyone. You don't need to be a coding genius anymore, you just need a good idea. This could lead to totally new ways of telling stories, creating super personalized gaming experiences that are unique to you. It's like handing a brand new kind of paintbrush to every creator out there.
And that leads to this really powerful shift in how we think about this stuff. We're all used to the idea of a game engine, right? That complex software that powers a game. But this isn't that. It's better to think of it as a game imagination. It's a tool that understands concepts and ideas, not just lines of code.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? We are watching a fundamental shift happen right before our eyes. For the very first time, the most important skill for creating a game world might not be your ability to code, but your ability to tell a great story. The key ingredient is just a powerful, compelling vision. And that leaves us with one last really fascinating question to think about. In a future where tools like Project Genie are common,
Could the next great game designer be a writer and not a coder, a poet instead of a programmer? It's a future that might be a lot closer than any of us think. Thanks for joining me.